What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hey guys, Tyler here. I'm so excited to see you. I'm talking real slow because people tell me I talk too fast. This is me talking real slow. So today we're gonna be talking. I don't know why I'm doing like this weird radio personality. Welcome to KWRK, the the beat 847. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's get started. So today I wanted to show you guys just like a detailed walkthrough of all of your options when it comes to adding a section, adding a question or upload or video option into Google Forms. So if you will look on the screen, I've got a beautiful little untitled form. You know what I've always wanted to do? I'm going to name it Titled Form. I'm sorry. This might not be funny to anybody else, but it's funny to me, so I am doing it. Okay, so in the comments is what I want you to tell me. What is the most common type of question you ask with Google Forms? That's what I want to know. So throw that little chicken nugget in the chat, in your notes. Put the one that you use the most. I want to know. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go to the one that is your default question. So the default, it's going to pop up as a multiple choice question. Let's click this drop down. It's not the first one in the list, but we'll start with it because it's just a very common question you might ask. So in here, let's ask a question of multiple choice. How about this? What is the best NBA team? Ooh, great. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So whenever we are in here, in multiple choice, what that means is that they are going to have to choose between multiple options. Now, and that sounds pretty obvious, but they have that choice. Now, here is the things you need to know about a multiple choice. So we could type in, let's do the Lakers. We can do the Bucks, Warriors, and I don't know, Hornets. Go LaMelo Ball. Am I right, guys? Seems pretty cool. So we have our options. Now, how do you know if it is a multiple choice question? Look over here to the left. You're going to deal with circles. Now, that's important. You're like, oh, well, they're all circles. No, they're not. They are the multiple choice ones have circles. Now, what that means is you have to think of your learner on the other side of this test or this quiz or whatever it is you're getting. Whoever's taking this, if it is multiple choice, they can only select one option. Okay. So what that means is whenever they go in, watch this, I'll go and preview it. So whenever they go in and look at this question on your beautiful Google form that you've made, they can only select one. So if I try to select two, it's not going to allow that. Now, here's a cool thing too to throw out there. Used to at Google Forms, I don't know why it was this way. When you selected something, like if I went and picked Lakers for this, and then I was like, oh no, wait, I don't want to answer this question. It used to not let me unselect it. So it's like if you selected it, boom, you're stuck. But they've actually changed it. Now you can click again on the circle and it unselects it. I say that, it's not letting me unselect it. Okay, so I don't know. This feature didn't work, and then it worked like 3 months ago, and so maybe it's not. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know in the comments. That is baffling. Baffling, I say. You can know a lot about Google Forms. Doesn't mean you're an expert. I don't know why it's not letting me unselect it. If I figure that out, I'll let you guys know. But that's interesting. Try that on yours and let me know. Okay, so we have our options in here, and there is an option here for others. So all you'd have to do is click Add Other. When I click that, it gives this option. So when someone is taking that exam, if any of these multiple choices aren't the team that they want, they could type in other right here and type in, I don't know, let's say the Heat. They could put them in there. Now, here's something to keep in mind. If you really want to mess with your students, if on every multiple choice test, say you have like 4 or 5 options, you always put other, that'll really freak them out. And then just like every now and then make that like an answer they had to put in. That'll mess with them because, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to guess. I'm just going to do a little guess. Here, it's like that would be funny. So You can make that as an option. If you ever want to delete an option, look at this. See these X's? I can go in and hit X and delete an option out of there. Okay. So that is how you would do a multiple choice question. Now, since we're in here, I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to show you a couple things that that I think are relevant, and this can be applied to most of these questions. But look over here. Do you see this to the right of this? That means I can go in and I can add a photo. So this is really handy because you guys all know those tests where it's like an exam, and let's say you've got an X and Y coordinate plane, and it's saying refer to the photo above for the next 3 questions. Now you can actually attach the photo into that question directly. So you could click this right here. You can upload a photo. You can use your camera. See, I can use my camera. What's up? This is what I'll tell you. This is the little hack I used to use. If you teach math, it's really hard sometimes to like write out the equations. So you could do 2x over 4. And what I'll do is I'll do this, hold it up, make the equation, take a picture, insert. And that is just like a little hack on putting questions in that are a little harder to do. Just say, answer the question. Okay, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. So let's remove that. Okay, so let's say I want to add the photo. I can use my camera. I can go by URL. So I can find the photo on the internet. I can go through my photos. I can go through my Google Drive. Or this is a cool one. You can do Google image search. So think of this. So I did MBA. You could do coordinate plane example. So if you wanted to, you could find the equation by going in here and looking around and finding something off Google. They won't put anything up there that you're not allowed to use. They read all the rights from people, and they'll toss those chicken nuggets on there. So this is an MBA question. So I'm going to put MBA. There we go. This is interesting. So let's do this one. There we go. Insert. Bam. So we got a photo attached to it. It looks like a video, but it's not. It's a photo. All right. And if you ever want to change it, you see these 3 dots right here. It looks like a slender snowman. You can left align it, center, right align. You can change the photo, or you can remove, or you can add a caption like, isn't that so pretty? Boom. I don't know why I said that, but that could be the caption. Okay. So that is a great way to toss in a photo. Now, here's the cool thing. You could do that for every single one of these as well. So this used to not be an option. They added it like gradually. At first it was up here, and you can make it the photo for like the whole question. And then now you can add photos in here. So think of this for like, say you did have one where it's like, tell me what slopes are, positive or negative. And let's do this, and then I'll show you that example. So let's Google search. I'm going to toss in, load up, little buddy. Google image search, Lakers. In the chat, I want to know, what is your favorite NBA team? So I could toss the Lakers here, hit insert, bam. So for the Lakers, I could do that, and I could even delete. Where it says Lakers, so it's just the photo, and it just says like option 1 or something. If you put some spaces, I think it'll still say option 1. Sorry, I want to give it a little bit of time. So you can do that. Let's do, okay, I'm going to show this because I want to show you. Let's start fresh. So I'm going to hit plus, and it adds a multiple choice automatically. Let's say I wanted to go, which photo represents a positive slope? Okay. Now, what I can do is I can go in and find a photo, and I can look and find like pictures of lines directly from the internet and make students choose. So like I could say slope. See if I can find one. There's one. That's a negative one. So I could toss this in. Actually, let's do this, which it tells them the slopes. That's not great, but honestly, if they're going to miss it, they probably wouldn't know anyways. I can hit, remember to add one, like, oh, I need to add one. Just click inside there and hit enter. It's going to do this. I just added a photo. That's not going to work. That's going to be like every answer. So I need to change that. Let's click this again. Let's find a positive slope. Let's do line coordinate plane. On a coordinate plane. Come on, where's my lines at? Don't ruin my example. Don't ruin my example. Yeah, I don't see a good one. It would have been a great, but you get the picture. Honestly, what you could do is you could screenshot a couple of them and then upload it in there. So like, for instance, let's say I went over here and I just went to, slope. I'm going to leave that. I'm showing you the walkthrough. This is how I would do it. So I'll go to images. Go to images. Images. Singing a song whenever. There we go. This is perfect. So here is a picture of a negative slope. I can take that. I can right click and go to download. Let's see, save image as. Okay, or I could screenshot. We'll just go to downloads, hit save. And then I can go here. I can go find this. I can click upload. And then I just browse. Then I'm going to go to downloads. I need to change my view list. Come on, little buddy. Date modified. All right. Today. Is this it? There it is. Hit open. Selected files not supported. Oh, that's weird. So here's my workaround that I use a lot. Let's click on this. Come on. Here we go. You know what? I'll just hit screenshot. On a Mac, it's pretty easy. It's just Command-Shift-4. Go here, hit browse. I'm going to hit desktop, and it's going to be that first one. Here we go. Hit open, because I know my screenshot's going to upload. We know that's a file size. Anytime you download off the internet, it's weird. So what I could do is I could go in and find those slopes. Now, it might even just be easier for you to do this, like draw it and then take a photo, and then you can put all those photos up. It's whatever's easiest for you depending on the subject that you teach. Okay. Now, I figure it's probably a good idea to keep rolling through this with multiple choice, and then let's talk about adding the different sections. Actually, let's do this. Let's do the options here, and then I'll do another one on just like focused on those. So let's go up here, hit the plus sign. Remember, the default is multiple choice. Let's click here. We're going to go to short answer. Short answer is something like, let's say, who was the first president? That's how you spell president of the United States. That's how you spell the. Is there anything, okay, in the chat, in the comments, in your notes, is there anything more nerve-wracking than trying to type when people are watching? Like that makes me, like I can type, I mean, I've been doing emails for way longer than I ever want to admit. And I still get nervous typing something to where it pops up. I don't know. Why is that? Okay. So short answer text, boom. They could have put it in there. You could do a photo just like we did with the last one. And then let's click this. I want to show you this. And the reason I clicked that is short answer and paragraph are essentially the exact same thing. It just looks different on the other side. So let's do this. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to duplicate the question. We could just say, who was the second president? And then I'm going to make this one a paragraph. So I want to show you the difference on these. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to look at it. So this is my old question we did. Here we go. So here's the option. Now, used to, look at this. See the line, how it's shorter, and this line is longer whenever I click on it? Do you see that? That's the difference. They're going to make a paragraph one look longer. And so what that means for your student on the other side, or whoever's on the other side of this, is if it is a shorter one, that is like the expectation is that you don't have to write as much. It's like a short answer. Honestly, if it's like five words or less, I'll do short answer. If it's like a sentence or more, I'll do long answer. That's just me. Honestly, though, unless if you guys know a difference, throw it in the comments. I don't know a big difference. I think you could. You could probably do a character limit. We could look at that here in a little bit, but I think that it's just the expectation on the other side of which one they need to do. Used to, paragraph was like a box, but they've kind of, since they did the update on the design, it looks a little different. So, and somebody in the chat may know more than I do about that and the way it's changed. So I would love to hear it from them. Okay, so let's keep working our way down. Multiple choice we already did, so let's look at checkboxes. So we click on this. Now, what it does is this allows the student or whoever's taking the quiz to select more than one option for each question. So we can say this. Which team, I keep going to NBA, which teams have won an NBA championship in the past 5 years? Okay. Now, the idea for checkboxes is that you can select multiple options as answers. Okay. So we could do the Warriors, we could do the Heat, we could do the Bucks, we could do the Lakers, we could do the Cavs. And boom, there you go. Because in here, the answers would be Warriors, the answers would be Lakers, and the answer would be Cavs. And so let's take a look. Do this. Boom, boom. I'm just kidding. Boom, boom. Here we go. See, look at the difference. We got multiple choice as the circles, which I can only select one, and I try to select more than one, it'll switch it. Here, I can select more than one if I so choose to. Okay. Now, what that does is that allows you to do like a characteristics. Name the characteristics that fall into this. You could do, like if you're wanting, so for instance, I make forms for people to submit things to conferences if they want to speak. And so they could go in and they could select, I want this, this, and this. Whenever we sent out, whenever I was in charge of the PD at my old school, I would send out a form to teachers and be like, hey, what do you want to learn about? And they would have multiple options to choose from, which allows for more than one. There you go. Okay, let's keep working our way down the line. We hit the plus sign. It makes a multiple choice. We want to go down. We did checkbox. Let's do drop down. Okay, so here's the cool thing. Checkboxes. That's not a good idea. Let's see. Multiple choice, and drop down are essentially the same thing. Okay, I'm going to tell you the difference. So let's go up here to, I'm going to delete this, and we're going to delete this because we just need to delete it. I want to just use this one, so remove that. Okay, so we have our multiple choice. What did I say? Lakers. Have our multiple choice. What that looks like, I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to make it a drop down. All right. So add other. Okay. So whenever I go look at it, take a gander at this little chicken nugget. Okay. So here are two. Let's compare them. You have your multiple choice and you have your drop down. Here's the difference. With multiple choice, and again, I said earlier that you could unselect, but apparently I don't know what it was that worked that one day. It's not working now. You can unselect when it comes to a drop down. So I said Lakers, I can go up here and go back to choose, and I can unselect. So that used to be one difference. Again, let me know in the comments. Is this something that you see? Are you able to unselect? So you can unselect with drop down, and then you can unselect on a drop down. Also, it consolidates it. So like if I was asking you, what state in the United States are you from? If I had 50 multiple choice, that's a little overwhelming. That's a little bit too much. I say if you have anything over 10, you should switch from multiple choice to drop down because it consolidates your form. It's less intimidating. It doesn't look like they're having to fill out like the phone book. So you can consolidate it a little bit better. Okay. Now, here's the other thing, the difference. So we talked about the first difference between multiple choice and drop down is that you can unselect. The second thing is that it consolidates a lot of options. here's the third thing. And this one actually favors multiple choice. With multiple choice, I can have an other option. With drop down, you cannot have an other option. So if there's ever anything that, is there ever anything that you want to put into, like, I don't know, I want them to have the option to put this in here, then you can do that there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes or no in the chat? Does that make sense to you? If not, somebody explain it. Somebody elaborate. Say it better than I just said it. You have the option for other if you do multiple choice. And you don't have to do other, but you have the option. Drop down, don't have the option. Okay? So those two are very similar. They're very much like short answer and long answer. So there you go. All right, let's move on down. Making my way downtown, going down Google Farm. Here we go. All right, next one. File upload. Ooh, this one should not be underestimated in its power. Real ultimate power. I think of that when Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars, he's like, real power, and he's like zapping Mace Windu, which was not very nice. A lot of people don't know that. That just wasn't very nice. Okay, so let's read this together. You can all read, I know, but I'm going to read it through you and talk through anything we need to know. Let respondents upload files to Drive. Files will be uploaded to the form owner's Google Drive. So that means that whenever they're filling this out, like if my students are filling this out, when they upload it, that'll be uploaded to my Drive as the person who created this. Respondents will be required to sign into Google when the file upload questions are added to a form. That means that if I add this on here, it's no longer an anonymous form. It will make them sign into Google. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. If you're like, I want to do an anonymous survey, and then you add file upload, it's no longer going to be anonymous. And then it says, make sure to only share this form with people you trust, because they're saying that because they don't want some like rando person to upload like a virus or something, because it's now uploading into your Drive. Does that make sense? Cool. Bam. Here we go. Okay. Now I see you, Super Chat. That's really cool. It's really cool. Thank you, by the way. Sorry, I'm reading the chat as I talk. So here we go. So whenever we do this, you need to add like a title. It says question, but it could just be this is what, and this is low key. This is low key one of the best things you can do if you give an assignment through Google Forms, like it's a quiz, a test, if it's just literally anything that you're assigning students. Whenever I taught math and I had students fill out stuff on form, I always added this at the end of every single thing that I sign with Google Forms. Take a photo. It's not even a photo of your notes from this and upload them. Bam. This way. So like we used to do a lot of flipped classrooms. I would have the students, they would watch a playlist of, 5 or 7 videos, and they would take notes. The first day the next day we come to class, I would literally assign a Google form, like 5-question quiz over what they watched. And then at the end, I would say, upload your notes to this. And I would add this at the end of it. Anytime we do notes in class, if they're taking a test, I want them to show all of their work. They upload it in there. Am I going to go back and look at every single student's notes? Absolutely not. That would be super time consuming. But if I need to, I can. If I have a student that I'm like, they usually make, 2 out of 10s on quizzes, they just made a 12 out of 10. I need to check on this and see what they did different. Maybe they studied and they took a lot of notes, or I can see that they didn't. It's a great way to check those. Now, when we do this, let's work our way down here. Allow only specific file types. This is a really cool feature. I can turn that on. Until then, anything can be uploaded. If I turn this on, I can say they can upload a doc. I'll take a spreadsheet, a PDF. Do I want a video? No, that's a lot of space. Presentation, I'll take. A drawing, sure. Image, yeah. And audio. So I'll take off the video and audio. Whenever I have people submit sessions for conferences or speaking things, I'll have it to where they can only upload a video. I don't want them to upload the presentation. I want a video. And that helps reinforce what I actually want. It'll give an error and say they can't upload that if they try. Maximum number of files. And you can choose. I want them to upload 1, up to 5, or up to 10. 10 is the max they can do. They can't do unlimited. If it's notes, a lot of times I'll do 10 just because they might take multiple pages of notes, and it's good for them to be able to have those options. and then max file size. Now, if your district or your nonprofit or whatever you're working for has unlimited storage, dope. You should roll up to like 10 gigs. But most of the time, 1 gig honestly is a 1 gig is a pretty hardy video. If they record for probably 5 minutes, that's on their phone. If it's a decent quality phone, that'll be about a gig. Most photos though are less. So you could do 100. That way students aren't just like uploading these like super high res. But then here's what you got to think on the other side of it. Say they do take a high res photo, or they're uploading 10 high res photos of their notes and it's over 100 megs, like that could megabytes. Is that right? Tell me in the chat, in the comments. Like, is that what it's called? Megabytes? Yeah, I'm almost positive that's it. There's like a big M megabytes and a small M megabytes. I don't know. I need to freshen up on that. If you know the answer, tell everybody so they know. Then you can set that limit, okay? And it says this form can accept up to 1 gig of files. I can change that here, and I can choose, and it'll automatically take them out of settings, and I can upload it to like 10 gigs if I wanted to. Bam. So you can adjust that there. If you're getting a lot of error notices whenever you are making these Google Forms, or if you duplicate, like say you duplicate one of the resources I have and it starts hitting this, you need to go click that and change and expand the amount of storage. That means that like if that says 10 gigs and I open it up to, I can't open it up. Let's say I put it on 1 gig and then I open it up to 10 gigs, I'll start getting an error, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, and then let's click here. I keep adding extra stuff. Okay, we're going down to linear scale. Oh, I love linear scale. Okay, low key, every time I give a test, quiz, or assignment, I add this on there as well. This is the question I ask. You can ask anything. This is going to be a linear scale that they're going to be able to look at. You could say, how confident are you in the test you just took? It could be an assignment you just completed and the lesson we just took. Boom. And then you could do 10, 1 to 10. And then I always like to give a label to it because you could do 1 to 10 and pretty basic. I could say 1, I just say no clue. And then for 10, I could say I aced it. Okay. And let's go take a look at what that would look like. I'm going to go to this. And this way I can also show you what the file upload looks like. So if we scroll here, we're going to go down. Boom. This is what it would look like if they want to add a file. If the student or whoever's wanting to add a file, they would click this and they would be able to upload it. Or on the Chromebook, it also has the option to take a photo. So that's cool. Or they can go into the photos, take a photo, and then upload it. So they could also do that with their phone and upload the pictures from the phone. I agree. Sorry, I'm talking to the chat. I agree with you. You're great. So this is what it would look like. And so students would come in and they'd be like, I feel like I got an 8. This is a great way to gauge how learners feel with regards to, learning or your lesson or any type of resource or quiz or test. I genuinely think it's a really quick feedback that they could give. You could even add 3 of these, like how confident are you in what you just did? Another linear question underneath it could be, do you like the style of this test? And the last one could be, how do you feel about what we covered in class and if it prepared you for this test? There's some, you might see that a lot of students are putting like 2s and 3s that you didn't cover this in class. And that's something that you can think about as you go in and create these assessments. Okay. So let's click back over here. We're scrolling down. We're still working our way through. Making my way downtown. We're walking fast. Okay. Multiple choice grid. All right. So this will be similar. This is like a combo. It's multiple choice, but also let's do this. Okay. Let's do it and I'll show you which players, let's see, play for which team. I could do Lakers, Warriors, and then the Hornets. That's not how you spell Hornets. And you could do LeBron, Curry, and then LaMelo Ball. Why do I keep using LaMelo? We use rookies. So let's take a look at it. Take a gander at what it looks like. Okay, scroll down. Now, this is the way this is set up. I like to call this one the Walmart job interview exam. Okay, and so here's why I call it that. One time I applied at Walmart when I was a teenager to be a cart pusher. And whenever I did that, they gave me this it was like a 30 question, like how likely are you for this? How likely are you for this? And then it gives you a scale, like not very likely, very likely. And so it's like you have this running scale. And it's like, how likely are you to steal from us? And you're like, very likely or not likely. I like to go with the Walmart interview scale. So this is one way to do it. The way I just did it is you can say LeBron, you can say Curry, you can say Ball. Bam, that would fill it in. Now, another way is you could do, let's see, you could roll over here. I could duplicate that. That way, that's also, I don't know if I said this earlier. If you are doing multiple questions that are similar style, like this is all short answer, or this is multiple choice, or this is linear scale, you can, instead of starting from scratch, you could just hit this little guy and duplicate it, which I'll cover that in the question settings section. So here you go. You could say this, answer the questions appropriately. Appropriately. It's embarrassing if I don't spell appropriately. I do, though. Nailed it first try. Okay, so here we go. How likely are you to steal from us? Now, here's the only problem with it, which I'm going to show you this. Watch this. From us. Okay. How excited are you to work here? And then how likely are you to stay here? I just deleted one. Long term, which actually that last question was not very good. Hit enter, gives me a new line. How likely are you to make friends here? That's just fun. Okay. We could do not likely at all, kinda likely. Likely is a weird word. Now, what's the word? Does anybody know the word for it whenever you say something and it stops being the meaning of the word and it's like you stepped out and it's like this very meta thing? They talk about it in the show Ted Lasso. Has anybody seen Ted Lasso? It's very good. You probably shouldn't watch it. I think they cuss. So kinda likely. You can say very likely. How's that? Is that scale correct? Or did I change my likelies around? Likely. That's how you spell likely. Likely. Man, that word has gone weird in my head at this point. So here we go. I definitely spelled it wrong. Right click, likely. There we go. It became just a weird thing in my head. Not likely, kinda, likely. I think I've got the scale right. But if I needed to, I could just click this and move it around, which we'll cover that in the setting session part. Sing. A lot of people don't know that I'm a great singer because I'm not. Okay, let's take a look at it. Hit this. We'll go to the preview. I'm going to delete some of these. Yes, I want to leave. Yes, I want to leave. I don't know why I had a required question on all these. This is silly. Do y'all remember it from Neverland? It's one of my favorite quotes. Anybody have like weird quotes from movies? In the chat, let me know. What is a weird quote from a movie you say that no one knows about? One of mine is from the movie with Johnny Depp called Finding Neverland. And the little kid that Peter Pan was based on, he goes, just a little bit of silliness, really. That I say that. I don't know why, and it's weird sounding, and I always do it in that weird British voice that I'm not very good at, and there we go. Okay, so this would be an example of the scale. How likely are you to steal from us? I would say not likely at all. How likely are you to stay long term? Kind of likely. And then how likely are you to make friends? Oh, I love people. They're great. Okay, so we're taking a look at it. Now, I want to show you the next option, which is checkbox grid. What else? Remember, the difference between multiple choice and checkbox is multiple choice, you can select one. Checkbox, you can select more than one. So we're just going to turn this into a checkbox. We went from circle to square. Now we're going to hit preview again. Remember, preview lets you look at your form and check it out. Check it out. Make sure everything's good. Now, watch what happens. Here, I can only select one per row. Now, I can select more than one per row. Keep in mind, multiple choice, checkbox. Okay. That was actually pretty cool. They used to not have that one. So cool. So rad. Okay. So let's click multiple choice. We're almost done. Let's go down to date. This allows people to choose the date. This is great for like, which day did this occur? But which day did it occur? And they'll be able to choose that. Let's duplicate it. And then I'm going to do time. What time did this occur? This is good if you are creating like a discipline sheet and you want to go in and say like date of incident, which you're thinking, well, it timestamps it. You don't always get to go in and fill in the discipline when it happens. It's good to say, this is the date it happened. This is the time it happened. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll be done with this question section. Here we go. That was like a weird, like Christopher Walken-ish. So sorry about that. So this is what it would look like. They would click on it. They could say, they could pick it and write it in. So I could say month, so 6/15, which is my birthday. Or they can click this, scroll around, and pick a date. Then what time did this occur? They could type it in, tab 30, and they can choose AM or PM. That's it. So that is an overview of all of the types of questions you can ask in a Google form. I hope this helped. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you follow all of your dreams. We're going to talk about something else in the next section, which is going to be very good. Thank you, guys. Y'all be good. Stay sweet. Thank you, guys, so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. I genuinely appreciate all of you. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to do some more sections later. And so tune in, subscribe, or whatever you want to do. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.